we go.
Perfect.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Elizabeth Freeburn, an adult services specialist at the Addison Public Library. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're thrilled to have you. I'd like to introduce Thomas MacEntee, right?
MacEntee, yes, yes.
MacEntee, and he's a professional genealogist specializing in the use of technology and social media. Thomas will be presenting AI and genealogy, trouble ahead. So thank you so much for being with us.
Great.
Turn it
And
over to you.
thank you. And I don't want to have you mute your audio because we've had so many audio problems, but I'm going to tell the crowd, save your questions for the end. And Elizabeth will field them to me, and I will try and answer them. Hi, I'm Thomas MacEntee. Usually I'm in Chicago. That's my home base. And I say where many are cold, but few are frozen. I am in Southern California. I've been here since August 22nd at my other home, doing home repairs. And it was, I think it's going to be 87 today and sunny. We're here for AI and genealogy, trouble ahead. A little bit more background on me. I'm in my 49th year of doing genealogy. I know it's hard to think, but it's all smoke and mirrors. I'll be 63 Christmas Day. I started in 1977 in January. Some of you may remember Roots. The miniseries came on TV, and I got hooked. I was staying with my great-grandparents, who were both born in New York in the 1890s, and they had fascinating stories and photos. Keep in mind that time period. 1976 was the American Bicentennial. Roots, the book by Alex Haley, won the Pulitzer Prize in 1976, and then the miniseries. And there was a surge of interest in genealogy. In fact, librarians, they weren't expecting everyone coming in and asking for resources. Also, from a technology standpoint, I was on pencil and paper, microfilm, and Soundex. No IBM PC, no internet, all right? And technology's really changed, and this is the new one. I've been using uh, AI for 3 years now and teaching it. And I have books on it, and that's the whole idea. Uh, you're going to be able to get dip your toes into what is this AI about. Just so you know, the handout has been distributed. It's substantial. Uh, I contend I believe in actionable genealogy education. You can take this home later and get started, or next week or next month. And you will never get a bullet point outlet line from me. All the URLs are in there. Also, I am not responsible for your sleep habits tonight if you're staying up all night and using AI, but I hope that you'll respect my intellectual property and not distribute that. One thing I do want to mention, I'm a big supporter of genealogy societies and their newsletters. I used to be a newsletter editor. I have this handout in article format that can be used for free. So just let a newsletter editor know. They have to email me at highdefgen@gmail.com. My email's in the upper right-hand corner of the handout. And I also have 40 other articles that deal with AI, technology, and research methodology. Okay, so it seems that you can't turn around and not run into the word AI or artificial intelligence. The evening news, online, uh, it seems like a buzzword. Here's a fact. Many vendors, and when I say the vendors, there are top four: Ancestry, Family Search, Find My Past, and My Heritage. They've been using it for years. The reason you didn't know about it is AI tends to have a bad connotation. I think the media plays up the dark side of it, especially towards older adults 55 and over. But it has been in use. Also, we're in an important part in the AI industry. It's like when social media came out with Facebook and Twitter 18 years ago. This is going to start to permeate almost every aspect of business and society. You may have heard the chatter that Elizabeth and I had beforehand. I've used it personally. I use it in my business. So you're going to learn how AI is currently being used and whether or not you want to actively seek out other uses. Uh, I'm going to give you fair and balanced information, and you can make an informed decision. That's the whole purpose of this presentation. Okay, so what is artificial intelligence, and why should you and I be concerned? Uh, This is the definition I came up with for artificial intelligence. It's computer-based systems that mimic human intelligence. Sometimes it can mimic human stupidity, but the goal is to have these systems perform human tasks. Think about it. What do we do in genealogy, or what do many of us do? We will do an abstract of a record. We'll transcribe a record. We'll even translate something. It's that grunt work, and that's what AI does best. These are the AI platforms that I recommend that are most used by genealogists. There are 5 of them. The URLs are in your handout. They're ranked in terms of popularity. I want to make it clear there's always a free version of these platforms, but there's also a paid subscription. I will demonstrate the difference. And by the way, I'm one of the few genealogy presenters that shows this in real time, live. You will see it as it happens. I think that's important so you understand how to do it and how quickly it performs. The first one, ChatGPT. I stumble over that all the time and tend to say ChatGTP. You probably have heard of it. Controls about 60% of the market. Look at this company, OpenAI.com. That's actually a nonprofit. What happened about 7 years ago? Facebook, Twitter, Elon Musk, everyone put in billions of dollars to develop this base platform. Then they took it and built and customized their own. So let me go ahead and show it. You should be seeing my screen. Okay. This is what it looks like. Very simple, very streamlined. Okay. I'm logged in down here and it says I'm using the free version. And what you do, also, they're always pushing the paid version. Subscriptions for all the platforms start at $20 per month. You can go monthly and cycle on and cycle on. But watch, this is what you do. Let's say I want to know more about how my 9th great-grandfather, Hugo Freer, who was a French Huguenot, lived. He landed in New Paltz, New York, in Ulster County in 1675. I'm going to say, his stone house, built in 1700, is still standing, which freaks me out. So I'm going to say, what was life like in, 4 French Huguenots? And if you don't know the Huguenots, they were Protestants thrown out of Catholic France in New Paltz, New York, around 1700. Now, it doesn't have to be in the form of a question. We're not playing Jeopardy. I could say social history, French Huguenots, New Paltz, New York, 1700. And look at this. Wow. Now, how would you use this? Well, I could put it in with my research. If I'm doing a book for the family, it gives them some background. Look at that. It's pretty amazing. One thing you might notice, though, where is it getting this information? That's one of the criticisms of AI, the lack of transparency. So how do they get this info? They all have what are called training databases or knowledge bases. They actively go out and they buy information. Reuters, LexisNexis, and newspapers and that. They also scrape the internet, and we'll talk about that. And then they use the information that you upload, and we'll talk about the privacy. Now, if I wanted to, I could come down here and say, provide source citations. And and you're having an ongoing conversation. And there it is. So it will provide them. But the other thing I want to show you, what do you do with this? You can give it feedback. And I urge you to give feedback, especially if the response is not correct. You're responsible for proofing and making sure this is accurate. But look at this. This is a copy button. You can copy and paste this in a Word, into Ancestry notes. And guess what? There is no copyright restriction. In the US, the courts have ruled so far that anything generated by an AI platform cannot be copyrighted because it's not created by a human. That may change. I'm going to take a little bit of liquid here. Keep in mind, did you know that photographs could not be copyrighted in the US until 1881? Photography was 40 years old. People thought it was some dark art. a man in a cloak with a machine. And how did he draw that? How did he paint that? No. Then they came to understand it took expertise in settings, a glass negative, and everything. So that may change. But you go ahead and you copy it. That's fine. And then what I do is I start a new chat and look at it's keeping a list of my previous chats. Now, don't worry, no one has access to these. These are private to your account. Let's go back to our slideshow. Claude. A lot of people don't know about Claude. This is what it looks like. I've got my settings. Yeah, things are a little bit slow here. Let's see. Okay. It greets me. It lists all my previous chats. I'm logged in. It's trying to upgrade me. And one thing you should know about the free version of all these platforms, you are limited in how much you can do. Claude is the stingiest with free users. So I can do some work, maybe after a half hour, the platform will say, oops, come back in 24 hours. You've used all your resources. And think about it. They're conserving them for their paid members. So that happens. So that basically no Claude soup for you. All right. And they all look alike. The layout is pretty simple. Here's another one, Copilot. Copilot is owned by Microsoft. And God bless Microsoft. I used to be a certified Microsoft Office trainer. I know how they work. They'll take a new technology like Copilot and slowly inject it in everything else. Office, Outlook, Edge, Bing, and now Windows 11. We always used to joke that their motto should be, you will be assimilated. This is what Copilot looks like. A bit slow today, I don't know why. Here it is, very simple. I'm logged in up there. This is one thing you'll see on all the platforms too. They're starting to offer something called deep research or think deeper. That will get you source citations. It takes longer, but it uses up more of your free resources. Okay. And then there's Gemini. Gemini is owned by Google. It's number 4 in popularity. And again, same thing. Streamlined. I'm logged in. See, they want you to upgrade. They have deep research. By the way, you can always do dictation narration. And this, where you ask it to do something, on most platforms is limited to 2,000 characters. One thing you'll find, it's not a search engine. None of these are search engines. I want to make that very clear. You can't put in an ancestor's name with the dates and expect it to find records. Mostly because it's not going to get behind the ancestry paywall, and Family Search has a login requirement. So if you're using it for searching, it's really, you're not getting the most out of it. All right. And then finally, Perplexity. Genealogists love Perplexity, and I'll show you why in a minute. A lot of people don't know about it. And again, logged in, put in your prompts. They have here I am logged in, pretty simple. So just so you know, that's what they look like. Let's move on. Let's talk about AI and genealogy. So really, you have benefited from the use of AI, believe it or not. Let's first talk about this concept. You all should know spell check if you use, any word processing program. You know how it works? I used to be an IT guy for many years. As you type along, it checks against a text file. And it says, oh, that doesn't match my dictionary. I'll put a red squiggly. Then we had grammar check. This is where AI came in. AI is known for making decisions. And that's what you need when you check grammar, right? Is his participle dangling? Is he using the Oxford comma? And so that, whenever there's a decision, and that's what scares people about AI. It's always in learning mode. It can somewhat think, all right? And then, do you remember the 1950 census release? April 1st, 2022, coming out of COVID. And they released it. And within 9 days, there was a searchable index. How'd they do it? National Archives worked with Ancestry and Family Search. They leveraged AI to do handwriting transcription. My mind was blown away. I didn't even think we were that close. Keep it in perspective. The 1940 census was released April 2nd, 2012. I was one of 100,000 volunteers for Family Search, and we manually indexed every page. Took us 123 days. So 9 days versus 123. So these platforms can go through billions of records, find connections, and do it faster than the human mind. These are the current uses of AI by genealogy vendors. First one I'll show you is from MyHeritage. Now, they just increased this. I have a paid subscription, but if you set up an account at MyHeritage for free, you can do this for up to 10 photos that you upload. Let me go here. By the way, MyHeritage is great if you have European ancestors. They have a lot of resources. I have Germans. So I'm going to go to photos. Oh, yeah, wow. And here we go. So this is a photo of my second great aunt, Elizabeth McCrickert. And this is what I originally uploaded. You see, it's got creases. It's not very well focused, right? And what MyHeritage has, I have to change my browser capacity. So I'm not getting a full menu. There we go. They have these preset buttons. Repair will take out the creases and scratches. Enhance, fix the focus. Colorize. Now, you could do this through ChatGPT. You would have to upload the photo, and you'd have to know what to write in the prompt. All right, so let's see what it looked like after I used those. And there it is. Not bad. Took the creases out. Focus is better. Colors, all right, that's great. Now, look at this too. This is another AI feature. You don't have to click anything. It went through and it took this photo and compared it with millions of photos at the Library of Congress photo database of public domain photos. And it determined, oh, the hairstyle is in this date range, the jewelry, this. I think it's amazing. And it's spot on. She was born, I think, in 1894, and this is probably her wedding photo or engagement photo. Great. Yeah, I think this is amazing, to be honest. All right. Let's go over here. Transcription. This is really the power for us as genealogists. I have linked you to an article in the resources that talks about the AI side of transcribing the new 1950 U.S. Census. It's a short read. It's well worth it. Then this one, searching and suggesting records. Okay, so let me show you how this works. If you've ever been to Family Search, and you need to have a login for this, at least they don't have two-factor authentication. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in, and I'm going to do a search. It's a little bit slow here in California this morning. I don't know why. I'm going to do a search. Thank you. Search records. I'm going to look for Ransom Olds, O-L-D-S. He was created the Oldsmobile, also REO Speedwagon, the car, not the band. Okay. And I want to look up his birth date or death date and do a search. They have 30 billion with the B records at Family Search. And oh, here we go. Hey, nope, that's not him. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Yes. Someone has messed up the death place because it says Lansing, which is Michigan. It also says Bucks County. Look at this. If you ever seen this feature, similar records, Ancestry has it, MyHeritage has it. So it has gone through billions of records and found connections. It also has created a transcript. This is AI. And even this, look, you get a source citation. Wow. You go ahead and copy that, paste it. Just pretty amazing, right? And then close that. We have DNA matches. I've linked you to an article on medium.com that talks about how DNA matches have been made much stronger through AI. Remember, you can go through billions of records, find connections. All right. And go ahead and read that if you have time. So let's move on. We're good on time. Now, this is the fun part, folks. This is worth the price of admission. I know they didn't charge you. We're going to show examples. First thing is social history. What is social history? I call it the dash between the birth date and the death date. It's how the person lived. I come from a big family. My mom was one of 12 born during the Depression in New York City. I have 41 first cousins, 65 first cousins once removed. And then the newest generation, the TikTokers, the Gen Z, I've just lost track. That's what the younger generation wants to know. How much was a dozen of eggs? How much was a house? What kind of jobs were there? How'd they live? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this, what we did before. And we've done this. See, you go for your, I don't know much. I'd have to go on Google and search it. It would take me probably about an hour or two. So that's the query we would put in, remember? And we got the results. Okay. I'm going to show this picture. Keep this in mind. These platforms are always learning. They're always acquiring more info, which means the results will differ even 3 months later. It becomes more accurate and more refined. This is a result from October 2023. You know, it's totally different. Also, look at my source citation. We will talk about that. I'm a big proponent of transparency as genealogists when we use AI. If I translate something with AI, I don't want to pass it off as my own work. Right? Great. Let's move on. Record sets. Now you're going to say, wait a minute, Thomas. You said you can't get records. You can't get records, but you can ask for help. My third great grandfather, Gustav Henneberg, came in from Saxony, Germany, landed in New York City, 1881. So I'm going to go to Perplexity and I want to know what records can I use? Let's say I don't know anything about German genealogy. Let's go to Perplexity right here. Okay. And remember, you put it in here and I'm going to say, what record can I use to research my third great let's just say, a German ancestor who arrived out of here. I don't know if you talk to your computer, I do. Arrived in New York City in 1881. This date's important too, because Ellis Island didn't open until 1892. So I want to make sure it says Castle Garden. Okay, these are what are called modifiers. I could say ancestor, but then it's not going to be accurate. Remember, I said you want to put in more rather than less. Because, you know, when we research ancestry, I always tell newcomers, go broad, do a broad search and narrow it. This is opposite. And so I put these modifiers in. And I can also say for genealogy, purposes. Okay, great. Go ahead. Pretty fast. Look at this. Sources. Yay. Look at that. Sources. You didn't see sources come up right away with ChatGPT, right? You actively had to go and ask for them. This is why genealogists like this. All right. And here's the answer. I come down here. Their sources are also linked as footnotes. And at the end, what can I do? Feedback, copy. And look at this. It also builds new prompts for you related. So here's Castle Garden. Okay. So that's why it's a keeper for a lot of genealogists. And again, look at this. In October 2023, I only had 6 sources. That proves that it actually does better and acquires new info. I tell people to run your prompts every 3 to 4 months. Right. This one is great. Transcription. This is the powerhouse. So I have a death notice from a newspaper in 1924. My great grandmother gave it to me on an index card in 1977. It's faded. So my second great uncle, he died Labor Day weekend off of Long Island, trying to rescue a child. And so I want to upload and want to ask it. I'm not going to use Gemini. I'll use ChatGPT. Wanted to transcribe. I can do it myself. I have arthritis. I just had a detached retina surgery. My eyes are not great. Remember, it does the grunt work. So let's do this. I'm going to first upload the document. And let's see if I can have it here. Voice. And this is it. Okay. Then I'm going to say transcribe exactly. Why do I say exactly? If you're on the free version, often you'll get a summary. And don't be surprised if ChatGPT free is lazy. It will crap out halfway through. Remember, you're not a priority as a free user. Uh, and I'll say this, uh, newspaper death notice published 1924 in the Lowville Republican Journal for Robert Austin. Okay. And I can say for genealogy research purposes. The more context you put in, uh, the more refined the results are. Go ahead. Look at how fast this is. Ay, ay, ay. Look at that. Amazing. I do have to prove this. There it is. Oh, look at that. It will even prepare a citation with evidence explained. Folks, this is brand new. ChatGPT was upgraded in August, and look at what it offers. Okay. And again, I can say yes or no and download it. All right. The other thing I can do is I'm a stickler for transcription. So I'm going to say, uh, uh, use same line breaks as original. Remember, I'm still in an ongoing conversation. This is what's called iterative conversation. And it will like that. Wow. Hope you're amazed. Here's another one. I have my mother's delayed birth certificate. Let me add photos and files. Where is it? There it is. My mom was born in 1941. This is dated 1958. My figuring is she needed proof of age for work at 17. So I'm going to say transcribe exactly this certificate of baptism dated 1958. If I knew the parish or anything like that, and I could say, of course, for genealogical research purposes. This modifier is important. I could say for historical research purposes, sociology research purposes. Go ahead. It displays it. Now notice it's a form. It's handwriting and fill in the blank. Look at this. Great. My mother's legal name is Jacqueline. Barbara is her saint's name. These are her parents. These are my great aunt, great uncle, the Marconis. Wow. There. And that's great. Okay. Again, I can copy it and everything. Now this one, and also you notice how it's building a list of projects. This one you're not going to believe. I'm going to upload right what I know is the ugliest uh, handwritten letter I've ever seen. It is. It's horrible. There's bleed through from another letter. I'm going to say transcribe exactly. And remember, context is important. This handwritten letter in English, because and why do we do this? The more info you provide, the less work the platform needs to do to figure this out. Dated 1821, an affidavit in support of an American Rev War pension application for Jacob Hoff. Okay, and I'm not going to put genealogy research. No. Look at this letter and look at this. And here I say it's fast and I've said it takes time. Are you amazed? I hope you are. I'm still amazed after 3 years. Okay, now you do have to prove it. I will tell you, I had an experience where I did a one-page Confederate Union pension application affidavit. And it inserted the story that the soldier was part of Sherman's march through Georgia and burning of Atlanta, and it wasn't there. And that type of stuff uh, happens more with the free version. And again, I rate it, I copy it. Great. Okay, so uh, this is from the transcription, uh, the first one, the death notice. And there's your source citation. And then finally, translation. This is the powerhouse, but be careful. Uh, AI translation is never a substitute for as a legal record. If you, it won't hold up in court. Let's say you're applying for an Italian passport because your grandparents were born in Italy. If you needed something translated, they won't accept that. You need to use a certified professional translator. And context is important, folks. Let me go ahead and upload this. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Look at what happened. I've been put in the corner. See, this is the notice you get. Luckily, I have a paid version, and I'm going to go ahead and show that. It does more things. It creates images, everything like that. And it's $20 a month. What I do and what I recommend, folks, I never buy a full year of a new technology. I will buy a month, cancel right away so it doesn't auto renew, use it for the month. And then when it expires, I'll wait 2 or 3 months and save up all my work. Do that. Go. All right. I'm logged in at ChatGPT 5. Look at all these options I have. I have these. I can do deep research, create an image. Agent mode is amazing. It will make reservations for me and keep a calendar. All right. This is the image I created this morning for promotion. You know, it's amazing. So here we are. We're going to do a new chat. We're going to upload that. We're going to upload that German marriage record. And there's no limit on uploads with the paid version. Here it is. Okay, fill in the blank form. Transcribe. Now, this is a two-step process. I could do the transcription in German, then come back and say, now translate to English. Exactly this German marriage record dated 1881 for genealogical research purposes. Very important that you put it in context. If you had a letter from Brittany, France, in 1800, northern France, if you didn't put that information in, ChatGPT would use base modern Parisian French to translate it. And the vocabulary would be different back, in 1800, etc. And then translate to English. Also, I don't know where it's from. It could be Swiss German, it could be Austrian German. Let's go ahead and do this. There's the record. It's pondering. I don't know if it's my wireless or if it's this. Come on, boys, let's go. We'll see. Sometimes it needs a jump start. There we go. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit slower this morning. So it's going to go through here. I have 2 years of German in college and it has not served me well. Here's the English. Pretty amazing, huh? So I know this is why you all will be up overnight if you've got Swedish letters and all these things to translate. But remember, you have to proof it. Sometimes AI can be too literal. I once asked it for the French word for alien, as in non-citizen, and it said extraterrestrial. And I know some of my ancestors landed by spaceship, but that was crazy. Yeah, it's real slow this morning. Okay, look at this. It can provide a summary, all right? And then I can go ahead and copy and paste this. So pretty amazing. I'm going to go ahead and start a new chat. So let's move on. What about copyright in AI? 2 areas. The stuff that's generated. I've already told you that it cannot be copyrighted at this point, all right? So don't worry about that. This is more important. There are lawsuits about it scraping the internet. Suits by newspapers, performing artists, authors. It has even scraped my content. I have 40 free cheat sheets on my website. Don't you think, as the owner of that intellectual property, I should get a royalty every time a platform uses it? That's the problem. They didn't ask permission. They just went out and they scraped it. So this will be determined by the courts. It'll probably have to go up to Supreme Court. There is a bill in front of the Senate. It's been languishing for 2 years. What a surprise. Uh, hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're at the fire station and it looks like they're using an announcement. So,
Okay. Do you need me to wait a minute?
nope, I think they're all done. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So basically, this will be resolved, over time, and we'll see what happens. What about AI and source citations? Okay. Uh, so anything that you find that you're going to use and do not pass it off as your own. That's ethically not great. There we are. So you should know that Evidence Explained, fourth edition revised, which I think the library probably has, came out last fall by Elizabeth Shown Mills. And on pages 691 and 692, she has source citations for AI. I'm using a formula from the Modern Language Association of America. It's simple and it's very similar. And let's walk through it. So in quotes, you put your query. What did you ask the platform to do? You put the name of the AI platform, the date or version, because we just saw the free version is different than paid version. Name of the AI company, it's not always apparent. When did you make the query? And then the URL. So if I wanted, so let's say the 1930 US Census had my great grandfather's house valued $80,000, and I wanted to know what was that worth today. Here's a citation I would use. This is the prompt I put in. I used Gemini. I used their paid advanced version. They're owned by Google. This is when I did it. And by the way, it's worth 1.14 million today. Now, the other thing, I will point this out. It is a resource on your handout. I'm one of the founding members of the Coalition for Responsible AI and Genealogy. We have a lot. Blaine Bettinger started it. We have a Harvard professor, and we've come up with principles. There are articles. There's a glossary. Right now, we're putting out a statement on using AI to correct photos, and at what point does that become a distortion from in terms of historical, etc. So it's a good site to have. Let's go. What about future uses of AI? Well, this is what I see. And there's a lot of pulling of hair and gnashing of teeth over AI. But this is where I think it's going to go. We're going to get better DNA triangulation, determining relationships. Remember, strong suit of AI, go through billions of records and find connections. Handwriting. This can do amazing things. This will do German fractal. I've been doing translation and transcription of German records in Cyrillic, Hebrew, and Yiddish, both in handwriting. I translated recently the 1900 Tehran census, Farsi, to English. I even translated and transcribed a letter for a friend from 1650 Japan. Source citations, and we already saw this, it's now going to create source citations in specific styles. Fan club. If you don't know what the fan club is, it's friends, associates, and neighbors, non-blood relatives. It's your ancestors' network. It's going to be able to go through billions of newspaper records and find a connection between two people. This one, I actually did this lately. Took a two photos of a woman. Followers they said, is this the same person? And it was over time. I uploaded it to ChatGPT. I said, what is the percent probability that this is the same person? And it determined 80%. And it gave me the reasons why based on profile and eyes and everything. The one thing it doesn't do is you can't pull up, put up a photo of a male and say, is this so-and-so's brother? It hasn't worked on that very well. This is not CSI. It's not, you put up a photo and say, who is this? Not going to work. And then it's going to get better at suggesting records, just like Perplexity did, those record sets. Okay, the good, bad, and the ugly of AI. I am the ugly of AI, I've been told. Uh, yeah, you've got to cut through the hype here. And this is, again, my fair and balanced information that you can make a decision based on. The good. Analyzing vast amounts of data. I recently took a 400-page book on the Crandalls of Rhode Island, one of my branches. I found it. It's in the public domain, published 1898. Uploaded a PDF, and it created a surname index for me. I also said, extract a list of migration routes, organized by surname, and then in generation order, and dump it into an Excel table. No problem. Translation and transcription. This is the strong suit for us as genealogists. Timelines and mapping. It will create a timeline. You put in life events for an ancestor, and it will create a timeline, both text and visual. The map. I put in a list of 30 of my Henneberg ancestors in the New York City area with their addresses and dates, and it created a Google map with pinpoints. The bad. Lack of transparency. Many of the companies are not upfront about where they're getting their information. Bias. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. If you put in a request to create an image of a physician, 70% of it will create a male physician. For a nurse, a female. So that needs to be dealt with. Copyright. We already know about this. Big, big issue. False information, hallucination. Now, my recommendation is if you're using a free version of ChatGPT and you don't like the results, don't buy a subscription right away. Go to Claude, try the same prompt, then go to, Google, whatever. And privacy violations. Now, the 5 platforms I recommended all have privacy controls, but you actively need to change the settings. Okay, here it is on ChatGPT. There are 2 things you can do. Notice up here, I don't know if Elizabeth even knows this. You turn on temporary chat. It will not include your prompt or info into its training model and everything. So that's a one-off. The other thing is you can come down here to settings. You go to data controls, and it's, see right here, improve the model for everyone. I'm going to turn it off. But you actively have to do this, which I don't think is fair. And the high costs. Do you know there's a big climate impact? Also financial. Electricity. Hello? Okay. Electricity costs have gone way up. My bill went up 30% this summer because these data centers are using so much power. They use it for air and cooling and HVAC for these server farms. So this is going to have to be dealt with. So conclusion, AI, I treat it much like when humans discovered fire. The technology is innocent, folks. Yeah, when, fire, oh, it lights my cave, it roasts my meats. Hey, but it also burns like heck, and it can destroy property and people. Stay informed. Read the news, but also go outside your normal news. We can often live in a bubble. So go ahead and look at CNET, PC Magazine, Forbes, Business Wire, all of them. And you get a more balance. Also sign up for the e-news for all these platforms. So, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I think it has amazing possibilities for genealogy. And so I'm happy to present this to you. Remember, your resources are at the end. There's another resource I wanted to point out. I'm not a big fan of Facebook, but, and please excuse any weird stuff that pops up. My friends often know when I'm training. And here, there's a group called Genealogy and Artificial Intelligence for there. And so, there it is. Oh, okay. I was a member. Should be a member. Oh, I am joined. It has 20,000 members. This is a safe place to ask your questions. This is also where people are sharing articles and their projects. Okay, so it's well worth joining. Also, for questions. Now I'm going to take your questions in a minute. This is my email address. highdefgen@gmail.com. You can email me questions about this topic. Please stay on topic. I don't do client research. All right. And if it takes 24 hours to get back to you. Two other things. Did I close it? I did. Hold on. Let's do this. Sorry. I have to get out to the internets. My website. I asked you to visit my website. You get a pop-up to sign up for my newsletter. If you didn't know, Ancestry's on sale, 50% off until 20th. But this is what you want. I have over 40 cheat sheets for free. Elizabeth, you can always print these out for patrons. They're two-sided. They go on cardstock. Tips and then resources on the back. And then I have over 40 books and cheat sheets on Amazon. And I'm sure that, that was me when I weighed 340 pounds. I'm sure that the library has some of them. Okay. So here we are. Come on. Yes. And this is my most popular and bestseller and newest. It's called the Big Book of Genealogy Lists. Have you ever worked on a historical document and it has an abbreviation or an acronym and you're like, oh, great. Go out to the internet, spend 15 minutes looking for it, go down that rabbit hole. I've taken all of that. So this has 2,000 different abbreviations and acronyms. Section on land and legal terminology for US, Canada, and the UK. City directory abbreviations. 2,000 different archaic medical terms and professions. A listed cemetery iconography. What do those symbols mean? Occupation abbreviations. And this is the kicker, folks. I've developed a list of 320 different record sets you might want to consider when researching an ancestor. Okay, great. I'm going to stop my share. Elizabeth, what did you think of the presentation?
I really appreciate everything that you told us, but I really appreciated the information about the settings in ChatGPT,
Yes,
which I
I
did
know.
not know anything about,
I
and I
know.
am going to go quickly change my my settings
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah. The other thing I did want to point out, here's a trick that I found out about. You know, when you type Hugo Freer, you look something up and you always get the AI results right at first in
Mhm.
Google. Do minus AI and they
Oh,
won't show up.
got it.
Little known secret. Isn't that great?
No, that is.
Yeah.
I
And
appreciate
so,
that too.
yeah. And that's a big one for me. So, okay. So any questions? Or are they stunned into
Yeah, go
silence?
ahead.
Okay, you said, or when you were doing the modeling, you added for genealogical research purposes, for historical research purposes. What does that add to the search?
What it does is it pulls out, extracts information that's more relevant, to that. Let's say I had a diary, PDF diary of an ancestor. I could say for psychological purposes, sociology. It's going to take a different slant on how it looks at the info. And also, very often it makes that offer at the bottom. Like it said, do you want me to do an extraction of genealogy data in a table? So that's what it is. You don't have to do it. You could, if you didn't like the initial results, then go back into that iterative conversation and say, now revise and provide information for genealogical research. That's all. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've got one. When you're talking about source citations, do you hand key all those things like the query, prompt? Maybe you actually hand key each time you do it?
Yeah, I do into Word or whatever I'm using. Right now, AI, it did offer to generate that evidence explain formatting citation, source citation. I haven't used that. Okay. But yeah, I've been doing that. So that's the way it is. And it's really not that. I mean, it's a simple formula. I look at source citations like you're a genealogist, who, what, why, when, and where. It's very simple.
This sounds like I haven't gotten it into, is my point, I guess. Okay.
What? Yeah, yeah. The other thing I did want to show you, if you do want to see that photo thing for more amazement, is this. Let me go here, go to ChatGPT. No, not Jay's. Thank you. Right here. So I'm going to upload those photos of that woman. Come on. Hey guys, where are we? It's a little bit slow. I know it's running some kind of Windows update on this machine. Add your photos and files. Here are the photos. Someone asked me. Okay, there they are. Determine if these photos represent the same person over a period of years and provide the probability information. Okay, and I could say, for genealogy purposes, okay, I'm using the paid version. This will work on the free version. Look at that. Look at how fast this is. Determines time period. Look at this. Are you guys amazed? I hope you are. I mean, it's the stuff that we ask on Facebook, right, Elizabeth? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And here, look at that. It's gonna come up with all this. 75 to 85%. These are your next steps. It actually determined the imprint stamp on one of the photos. And it gives you direction. And here, it even offers to find info on the photographer. I mean, it's amazing, you know? And I told Elizabeth, didn't hear me before. I recently had a Blue Cross Blue Shield claim denied. So what I did is I redacted all the personal info on my medical records. Even though I said not to use this, you still want to be careful. And I said, write an appeal letter, and it created a 5-page letter, and I won my appeal 2 weeks ago for $1,000. Seriously. I mean, it's crazy. So, you know, have fun. And yeah, Elizabeth, it's kind of wild, isn't it?
It is, and now I'm thinking I have some old photographs, and I know that some of them are relatives and some
Right.
of them are not. And now I'm thinking, oh, they're children. And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I can use this and figure
Yeah.
out who is related and who are the
Right. Now,
friends of,
yeah,
somebody
that's a
else.
difficult right now is, there's no facial recognition like CSI. You
Sure.
can't say who is this. The other
Mm-hmm.
thing is it's not as perfect right now. Let's say I had that one woman and then I put up what I thought was her brother. When it comes to gender, it can be a little bit more difficult. Go ahead and
Got it.
try it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, yeah, and again, this is refinement. The other thing is for language, it does amazing on language, but guess what it doesn't do, Elizabeth? Shorthand. I have a lot followers will say, oh yeah, my aunt did research in the 50s and 60s and all her notes are in shorthand. Now there are shorthand dictionaries, but my friend, she's an engineer at ChatGPT, she said, problem is this, Thomas, people had their own handwriting style and we
Yeah.
haven't accumulated enough of those exemplars to kind of come up. But this evolves. It will
Mhm.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Any more?
fascinating.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Can you use AI, and an example would be like, if you find an incorrect record, right? That is an ancestor somewhere, and you know it's wrong, because they got a misspelling of a name or something, can you use AI to help you get records corrected? Or at least, every time somebody searches it, it becomes more of a.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, it won't make the correction. It will point out, maybe the correct info. If it's on Ancestry, is this on Ancestry or where was it from?
I think that one I'm referring to, I recall, probably Ancestry, it might have been Heritage.
Okay.
I'd have to go
Okay.
look for it.
Yeah, let me go ahead and show you. There is a method. Every platform has a method to submit a correction, and it's up to you to do it. I'm gonna go to Ancestry, go to my tree, go to my great grandfather. So in the 1920 census, his name was John Ralph Austin. Why are you so large? I don't know. Okay, there he is. And the 1920 census has him as Rolf, R-O-L-F. It's a transcription error. I don't know if you know, but Ancestry does not use native English speakers to index their records, and I've complained a lot about this. And this is what happened. Okay. Come on. There's a way to submit a correction. So look at this. Yeah, it is, and it's wrong. So 2 things you can do. Don't do report a problem. That's technical. That's if it's faded upside down, you know, you can't see it. Here, you go here and look at, I've already submitted corrections. I can add my own, say choose name, and the reason it was transcription error, and put in my info. I can even submit a source citation. So does that help you?
Yeah, and I guess, yeah, how do you prove, you know, because what's the prevent anybody that's changing the record on their own that, you know, I guess, how do they know it's true?
Well, they don't. I mean, the thing is, that's part of work. Now, this is not collaborative, but look at all these in brackets. These are these other people have submitted. No, so they thought that Austin was Dustin. So these are them that I submitted. But even this is help, you know, in a way you're helping the genealogy community. Look at this. His wife's name. Now they have it as Therese Austin. But you know what? I knew her maiden name. So I put that in for other researchers. Okay. So they all have this. Now, the one thing, remember the original record here, you will never get rid of this or change it. That's the original indexing, and that's all there is to it. But you know, it's based on, you know, your competency and your research. You know, so that's all it is. But AI will not make the corrections. They'll point you in the direction of how to make the corrections, like when we search for records. Or they can try and verify information. Yeah. Good question. Anything else, Elizabeth?
No, do you help? Anything
He's
else?
very passionate at what he does.
Right? Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
yeah, we appreciate your
Thank you.
your
So
information so
yeah,
much.
so folks know that I am retiring from genealogy speaking at the end of the year, unfortunately. I'm turning 63 in December, and I teach 200 webinars a year, and it's hard to keep a schedule like that. I take care of my 94-year-old father-in-law. Tomorrow I'm teaching at 6 a.m. Arkansas, but you will see me around. Check me out on Genealogy Bargains. Sign up for my newsletter. I often have my ebooks for free. And so I will still be involved. So Elizabeth, I'm going to take off. I've got a call at 10
Okay.
a.m.
All
Okay.
right, great.
All right.
Thank you so
Take care.
much. We
Okay.
appreciate your time.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.